This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. The Charleston Predator franchise comes into today playing their 150th game as an SFL franchise. And what a better game to do it. They play their heated rivals. It's a border battle, otherwise known as the Carbon Cup. Both teams are 5-5 with the division out of sight. This game is all on the line for a coveted wild card spot. Welcome aboard and welcome to David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. I'm Tyler Falk. Joining me alongside for this heated clash is John Warren. John, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a tightly contested game.
Yeah, it will, and I think this league is so much of a what have you done for me lately kind of thing. Carolina has lost 3 of their last 4. Charleston coming in hot, winners of 4 of their last 5. We'll see what gives here. I think Carolina's got something to prove. They beat Florida a few weeks ago in a game that was amazing. They got pushed around a little by Canton. I'm expecting a great game here, a ton on the line. Let's have a good one.
Charleston currently holds the cup, but who will hold it at the end of the ball game? Carolina kicks us off as here we go from David A. Richardson Memorial. And back at his own goal line of the return is Anasadobi, and he will trudge forward up to near the 30-yard line, officially ruled down at the 31-yard line. A special shout out for our aerial coverage of tonight's game is provided by Dags Droneworks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. And so here comes John Lakeman, the quarterback here for the Preds to start his first drive of the ball game. He hands up the middle to Nick Hogland, who gains about 3 yards. The former fullback, now halfback, and let's introduce you to the rest of that Charleston offense. Alongside Nick Hogland, the backfield is Saren Storm and the fullback Terrell Sutherland. Wide receivers are Benjamin Warner, Anis Anobi, Davius Reed, and Ricky Spider. Tight ends are Brian Murphy, Lion Trees, and Romeo June. On the line, it's DeBrickshaw Molyneux, Finley James, St. Nebuchadnezzar, Leroy James, and Lamarcus DeMarcus IV Jr. as turning around and trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage was Davius Reed, but he steps out of bounds about 2 yards shy, and that brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, the pass kind of went in the wrong direction. Davius Reed's been so good for Lakeman. Lakeman didn't place that ball that great. He's lucky to only lose a couple on that one.
Early 3rd down test here for Charleston. They're converting on just under 55% this season, which is near the bottom of the league statistically. Lakeman rolling to his right and fires down near side, caught and down the field goes Benjamin Warner across midfield near the 35-yard line.
You know, Lakeman has been up and down all season. I've called a few of their games. He's looked super inconsistent, but one thing he can do is he can air it out. He can find these receivers. He's 3rd in the league in passing yards, and you saw him hook up with Benjamin Warner, who's been outstanding for him this season.
Nice little route combo. Nets 33 yards for Warner and Lakeman. And now here come the Predators from near the 34-yard line of Carolina. 5-man rush, 6-man safety coming. Pass, Reed has it. And that'll gain about 6 yards as we introduce you to the Carolina defense. Christopher Colon, Phil Hall, Stephen Forbes, and Levant Irvine are the defensive linemen. Shravan Prasad, Danny Stinson, and Mojo McLean are the linebackers, with Davidson Joseph, Skippy Curtis, and Tristan Hatley at corner, with Monte Wyatt, Ivari Aman Iglin, and Chris Delro at safety. 2 tight end, 2-back set here for Lakeman. He'll hand off to Hogland, who tries to run through the middle and is taken down by Mojo McLean after a pickup of about 3 or 4.
Charleston's been good in these short yardage situations for 3rd downs. We'll see what they dial up here. It would not surprise me if they go right back to Nick Hogland.
They'll flip the formation to boot. 3rd and 1 now from about the 26-yard line. 8 men in the box here for Carolina. Here comes Hogland. He sidesteps out of one tackle, sidesteps Mojo McLean's tackle, and is finally brought down by Monte Wyatt, the free safety, but not before he picks up the first.
Hogland's been great in these kind of off-tackle runs for third and short over the past few weeks, and that one was no different. They're set up pretty nicely just outside the red zone.
They break away from those heavy sets to now bring out 3 wide receivers as Lakeman rolls to his left and passes near your side. That's caught, and into the end zone goes Benjamin Warner. Touchdown, Charleston.
You really can't ask for a better start for this Charleston offense. They've been super inconsistent, but they've also come out hot in their past few games. Lakeman likes to air it out, likes to find receivers early. Warner's looking great. A couple of really good routes to get open early in this game. That's just single coverage. Warner holds up, gets in front of his defender. Joseph couldn't make the tackle in time.
4th receiving touchdown of the season for Benjamin Warner. That is career touchdown number 17. And that puts Charleston on the board first this evening. 6-0 outtrots Brad Bretchett to try and tack home the extra point. Snap spot kick is left. Oh, nearly thought he was going to miss that one on a 7-play, 68-yard drive. Just under 3 minutes all told.
Looked a little wonky coming off of his foot, but it went through. He's been perfect for field goals on the season. That would have been quite a miss from that range.
Absolutely. We don't see too many of those. I don't think we've had a missed extra point this season or in quite some time, barring a blocked field goal, which I think happened last season, if my memory serves me right. Answers on a postcard, in case you know that SFL history. Riley Quintero, meanwhile, on the return, gets out of a tackle and trying to get upfield, and he's still fighting with defenders all the way to the 38-yard line. A great return from Riley, as we will now see Matt South take to the field for his first offensive possession.
Yeah, this was a really good return, breaking a tackle, get them up to they're about middle of the pack in terms of average field position. Actually, I take that back. They're close to the very bottom of the league. I was looking at a different stat there. And then they're going to start close to the 40-yard line. That's what they need to answer this Charleston offense with a good offensive drive of their own.
As you were saying, both of these two teams starting field position right around the 26, 27, which is in the bottom 7 in terms of the SFL. But that doesn't matter here, as Quintero gets them up to the 38-yard line, and this will be one of the best starting field positions for this Skyhawks squad here this season. Delayed handoff up the middle. Here comes Ike McBride, and McBride will gain 2 before she is tackled by Gino McFly. And let's introduce you to the rest of the Sky Gang offense. Of course, we mentioned Ike McBride, the halfback. Hattori Hanzo is the fullback. Riley Quintero, Harish Prasad, and Chase Earl are the wideouts, with Kate Palmer, Chris Cross, Ricky Rigatoni on the line, and the tight ends are Vince DeSantis and Xavier Solomon. McBride again on the give, right side, and looking for a little extra help. Does not come her way. Khalil Thomas, the outside linebacker, will bring her down, and that'll bring up a 3rd down here for Carolina.
McBride is such a tough runner. They've got a couple of rookies on this line, and Kate Palmer and Ricky Rigatoni this season. They've been pretty good, but Ike's got to keep her legs moving.
South having to get out of the pocket quickly, looking downfield. Open is Prasad, and Prasad's near the 35-yard line. Nearly identical starts the ball game for both these offenses.
Yeah, these receivers are getting open. Not a clean pocket, had to escape it, but very clean route. Had a little bit of room in front of him too. So good start to this offensive drive for Carolina.
And just like Charleston, after they converted their first 3rd down conversion of the ball game, Carolina now finds himself on Charleston's 34-yard line. Handoff McBride through the middle, through one, but not through John Stamango, the safety, as we introduce you to the rest of the Predator defense. Anthony Robertson, Robert Cherry, John Lawley, Thomas Matthews are the linemen. Khalil Thomas, Jack Brown, Gino McFly, and Mo John Tana are the linebackers. Corey Menner, J.W. Hartshorn, and Mark Barton are the corners, with Sam Blotner, Matt Ryan, Guy Incognito, and the aforementioned John Stamango at safety. I formation here for South. 8 men in the box. They will go near side with the run. McBride looking to lower her shoulder, gain a few extra yards. She is taken down 2 yards shy of the marker.
Yeah, McBride, so consistent, I would say, and sometimes that consistency can just set you up so nicely in manageable third downs, and this is a pretty manageable third down if I've ever seen one.
Another I formation here for the Skyhawks. Again, they go up the middle with McBride, and she hurdles one defender and picks up the first down. Easy as you like for Ike.
Yeah, Jack Brown was there for the stop, and not before Ike could get the first down. Charleston's defense has been okay in the red zone, and actually they've been terrible in the red zone. I forgot.
Well, hope always springs eternal, as here comes the carry up the middle. Great job for the tailback to get a yard after being stopped, or attempted to be stopped, about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I completely spaced for a second, because once Charleston allows a team into the red zone, they've allowed 100%, which is dead last in the league. So we'll see what happens here. Something's got to give. Just a yard and a half to getting in the red zone are the Skyhawks. Split backfield behind South. He looks to throw. Has time. Far side. In and out of the hands of Harish Prasad. It's Tamango, among others, there in coverage.
That would have been a tough catch, but Harish can definitely make that catch. But that was a ton of traffic and not the easiest ball for Prasad to pull in.
Prasad's already had to make a difficult catch earlier in the ball game, had to come back to the pass. This pressure from Charleston's defense, which we were talking about pregame, is one to watch later in the season. 3-man rush, South rolling out, now has to get rid of it, hit as he throws, and the ball will slam into the turf. Incomplete, 4th down.
Yeah, Matt South was hoping for a repeat of that earlier play where he was able to run out right and find Harish Prasad downfield. This time got absolutely hammered in the back, and that ball just was a duck coming out. So Charleston is going to try to hold them to a field goal here, 38 yards, super makeable, but we'll see.
Here comes Malone Brown for the 38-yard attempt. It's drifting right, but it sneaks in between the uprights, and good. Malone Brown stays perfect on the season, now 16 of 16. And the Skyhawks answer the touchdown from Charleston with a field goal of their own. It is now 7-3 Predators. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button to begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It is never too late to get involved. Hannes Adobe on the return brings it all the way up to the 29-yard line, and so we'll see now if the Predator offense can repeat what they did on the opening drive.
Charleston's gonna have to keep that champagne on ice. They've got it every single game. They've got it chilling to see if they can stop a team from scoring in the red zone. Weren't able to do it this time. We'll see if they do it next time around. But now their offense is back on the field. Maybe they can stack together another great drive here. We'll see.
Lakeman over the middle. Oh, what a spectacular interception from Tristan Hatley, pulling double duty. Not on the field, but also in the stats truck. A stat line for sure.
I mean, I don't know if Lakeman just didn't see him. He looks like he was staring down that receiver. Tristan came in right there. Great instincts to just jump in the middle of the field. That was an outstanding interception. And wow, Carolina is really set up nicely deep in Charleston territory. Oh, that is just a heartbreaker for Charleston and John Lakeman.
And so here comes the Skyhawks already. Excellent field position. They can say the first 2 possessions for them have been more than the norm for Carolina this season. Right. From the Charleston 37-yard line. Blitz coming. Pass is caught over the middle by Chase Earl. First down.
tough catch for Chase Early. Knew he was about to get smacked, but held onto the ball anyway. And Matt South is he's finding these passes on target. Oh, God, that was a huge hit.
And that's the problem when you run a man zone or a zone or a man blitz, excuse me. You have to really be on top of your assignment. And that time, a little bit too much room. And all of a sudden, Chaser has the football in his hands. And they are, again, right back where they were just a few plays ago. From the 22, McBride trying to push the pile forward, and she will pick up 8 yards after the hit from Robert Cherry from behind. Gains a few extra.
We were talking before we came on the air about how Ike McBride always churning her legs, bashing her shoulders into defenders, even her own linemen, to get downfield a little bit further. 8 yards on that first down play. Sets him up nicely with the second and short.
And with the Hatley interception pulling double duty, Ike McBride pulling double duty for us as well. The second half of the stats team tonight. So thank you, Ike. Thank you, Tristan, as she goes off running again. Oh, my goodness! Farewell, John Stamango, as she gets all the way inside the 5. And I think Stamango's still down.
No way. No.
No, it's Guy Incognito, one of the other defenders coming after her.
Oh, wow. That was,
my goodness.
That was an incredible shoulder drop. That Ike McBride could run through a brick wall and absolutely could have done it there. That was an outstanding run. Kind of a statement play to get them set up first and goal at about the 3-yard line. Incredible play.
Goal line I versus goal line D from just outside the 2-yard line. And off near side, McBride, and nothing doing. Maybe a loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, Charleston is ready for that. Not a ton on that one. Yeah, a bit of a loss. They're still set him nicely with second and goal, though.
Now from the 4-yard line. Same 2 formations for both squads. They go with McBride. Near side. Can she get a block? No, she don't need a block. She just needs a hefty stiff arm to say goodbye, Gino McFly. I'm going to the pay dirt. Touchdown, Skyhawks.
Ike McBride said, I'm going to stiff arm you and then use your shoulder as leverage to basically just kind of dive into the end zone. Yeah, that was a nice little springboard for Ike McBride to get Carolina on the board with another 6. They're taking the lead here, and Charleston looking a little out of sorts early with that John Lakeman pick. We'll see how they respond, but Carolina had to get some more points on the board than they did.
Kick is up and good, and the Skyhawks take a 3-point lead here at home. It is 10-7. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net. Presented by Football Shift. Stay up to date and explore our past, present, and future. This time, Anasadobi decides to take a knee about 8 yards deep in his own end zone, and so here comes the Charleston offense from their own 20-yard line.
Exciting start to this one, partner.
Well, I would say so. It has certainly lived up to the billing early on.
Yeah.
Close ball game. We'll see if Lakeman now can get back off the schneid after throwing an interception on the last drive. He will roll out. Look near side. Oh, nearly a one-handed stab at the ball by Skippy Curtis looking for an interception.
His coaching staff is not afraid to kind of go back to the well, not really allow John Lakeman to get too tight, too safe. And I like that. But sometimes we can put balls in situations where it could also be picked again. That was really close.
Blitz coming. Oh, and Lakeman had to get rid of it quickly, and that he did. Benjamin Ward hauls it in for a pickup of about 7.
Yeah, Warner was open from the slot there because that blitz was so aggressive, and it's good that Lakeman found him so quickly. Otherwise, he would have lost about 5 yards on a sack there. So good job for John Lakeman getting that out so fast.
That is something that has been been a bit of an anomaly for the Carolina defense. Can they get enough pressure on quarterbacks as Lakeman throws? Oh, my word! Davius Reed! That's absolutely robbery from the wideout spot.
Last week against Motor City, Charleston had just a string of receptions like this, just incredible layouts, one-handed catches. Davius Reed here with an outstanding catch, both in the middle, one-handed, diving. These receivers have kind of bailed out Lakeman in this offense a lot, and they're so talented. It makes sense to just throw it up and see what happens. And Davius Reed pulls in a nice first down catch there.
He leads the team in receiving yards coming into tonight's game with 731, but unfortunately, that one just hits off the tips of his fingers, incomplete. And now Reed, 5 targets, 3 receptions tonight.
It might have been good that was incomplete, because I don't know if he would have gotten maybe hit for a loss there, maybe hit for a fumble, but it fell safely to the ground.
Lakeman again to throw. Looking middle. It is incomplete. Looking for Warner. That's the first time that Warner's been targeted, and he has not been able to haul it in tonight. He's caught 3 so far, and the big storyline right now, partner, is this Charleston offense as far as the receiving game goes. Only Reed and Warner have receptions, and the only other target besides the 2 in the passing offense has been the tight end, Brian Murphy.
Yeah, Brian Murphy's been a good third target, but he really haven't gotten Honus Adobe involved, which is, I think, a mistake.
Lakeman has time now, has to get rid of it. He turns upfield, but cannot get back to the line of scrimmage. It's a home run from Phil Hall as he gets the quarterback.
That's Phil Hall's second sack of the season, and it's a timely one. We're going to see our first punt of the evening from Eric Blueberry.
First time that a drive has ended in a punt so far. This is our 5th drive of the ball game. The punt is away from Eric Blueberry. On the return is Quintero, and he will go no further than the 23-yard line. Matt Ryan was there with the tackle. Last 30 seconds of the first quarter, and we've got ourselves a pretty decent boxing match. 10-7 our score line. Carolina trying to take back the Corbin Cup. Charleston, a win here tonight would really help their playoff chances. Carolina, a loss doesn't necessarily mean that they're down and out. They have one of the best SOVs this season. And now, we'll see what they come up with on this time. Mike McBride on the give, gains 4 yards, and now is 2 away from taking down an SFL milestone. He's 2 yards away from passing Zach Parker for 23rd all-time by her lonesome.
And that's a great accomplishment, so we'll see if she gets that. She picks that up here.
Gets the give again, and there is 23rd all-time in the SFL annals of history. 3rd and inches upcoming for her Skyhawks, as that will bring us to the end of quarter number 1. 3 more to go, and hopefully you're enjoying the game just as much as me and John are. 10-7, Carolina. This is the SFL on YouTube. Welcome back to David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. Happy to have your company. I'm Tyler Falk. Joined alongside myself is John Warren. In the stats truck is Tristan Hatley and Ike McBride. And of course, the SFL commissioner is our producer. Thanks once again for tuning in to tonight's edition of the Corbin Cup. 16th meeting between these two clubs, and McBride gets the first down and looking for more to the outside. Cannot escape the tackle from Sam Blotner, but it's a first down nonetheless.
This is my first time calling a Carolina Skyhawks game, so it's my first time seeing Ike McBride in action this close, and wow, it's fun to watch her break tackles. Let me tell you, 59 yards on the day. She's already scored a touchdown. She's 1 away from, I think, tying Bailey O'Shaughnessy's mark of 64 career touchdowns. We'll keep an eye on that one as well.
2 wideouts, 2 backs in the backfield. They will go with a run. Back to McBride. She has been working tonight. 3 more yards to her tally. That brings her up around the 75-yard mark.
Well, the game plan makes sense, right? I mean, I think balance is good. I think, Charleston has been a pretty a heavy time of possession team. That's how they've won a lot of games. So Carolina's trying to flip the script on them, and I think it might work.
15 yards less, 61 yards. My apologies. Handoff through the middle. McBride. Couple more yards. Stamango there in on the stop. 3rd and 5, and third downs really have not been too much of a struggle tonight for Carolina. They're 3 of 5 to this point.
No, it's been kind of a turnaround a little bit for them, and that's probably a good omen for this team.
South fires. That is in and out of Chase Earl's hands. A hefty hit by Corey Menner. And now both teams, after starting the game off strong, trade punts.
Yeah, it feels like these offenses and defenses are trying to acquaint themselves with each other. Defenses are settling in a little bit, seeing how these coverages are going to match up, and now we're going to see our second punt of the game.
Oh, snap is corralled by the punter, and here it comes. Good, decent hang time. Deep all the way back to near the 12-yard line.
Woo.
And Adobe can't really make heads or tails of it, taken down by Gash and company inside the 20-yard line. So our first look at how Charleston digs themselves out of a field position hole, if you will.
Yeah, Lakeman's going to be backed up here, and we'll see what happens if they decide to continue to air it out. It's going to, I think, really, really behoove Charleston, one, to get Nick Hogland involved, who's been such a big part of this team's success over the past few weeks, but two, to spread out the ball a little bit more to Honus Adobe, maybe get some of these tight ends involved. We'll see what happens.
Only 3 carries for Hogland at this point, right around 11 yards in total. And we'll start with the pass. Heavy blitz, and here comes Saren Storm, the former wideout turned halfback, but he will lose a yard after coming down and grabbing it with Shervon Prasad.
Yeah, that was a big hit from Prasad, and we were talking about how kind of identityless Carolina's defense has been. They've put some pressure on Lakeman early on in this game, which is a good sign for them.
Here's Lakeman, clean pass. Oh my goodness, maybe the hand in the face. Maybe discombobulated Warner because he had an open look and dropped it.
There are so many tough catches these receivers have made over the past, many games, but I've seen them drop a couple of these wide open balls. It's just like, wow, I can't believe I'm this open kind of drops, which does happen sometimes.
Coverage backs off for Carolina. 3rd and 11. Here for the Predators. 5-man rush. Lakeman has time. Gets it. Oh, what a beautiful pass. Slots it in through the eye of a needle. Back to Warner. First down.
Yeah, Warner making up for that drop in the previous play. And I cannot believe the positioning of this pass. What a fearless throw. If that is just any later, Davidson Joseph is going house the other way. But Benjamin Warner with a nice grab, 77 yards on the day with a touchdown already. So he's busy. He's been busy.
He's been Lakeman's go-to guy in the passing game. Pitch play Hogland near side, out of Prasad's tackle. Flag comes in late. Down goes Hogland after the Phil Hall tackle. Here's our first flag of the game, and they're going to call a block in the back on Charleston. That's going to set him back a few. 15 to be exact. Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge penalty. And it's on Warner. Wow.
Undisciplined.
That's such a silly play. I thought they called it on that first shove, which would have been absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, that's just totally undisciplined. I'm not sure what Benjamin Warner was thinking there, but big mistake, big mental error. It sets it back a lot. 1st and 25 here. Ugh.
Head coach Jacob Clear, no doubt going to be having words with his wide receiver. Delayed handoff. Here comes Hogland through the middle. He'll get a few more yards before Cologne brings him down after a pickup of 4. Be 2nd and 21.
Yeah, they just want to get a little bit of that chunk back that they lost, but still 2nd and 21. Lakeman's going to have to reach into his bag of tricks here to get out of this hole.
Almost have to think like this is 3rd and 10 and gain at least half the yards back here on this play alone. As Lakeman to throw, got Warner over the top of Chris Delro for a gain of about 14.
Another completely ridiculous catch for Benjamin Warner here. Gets back a big chunk. A 3rd and 7 is not bad for Lakeman. Like we've said, they've converted on, I think, half their 3rd down attempts today. So totally possible. They're still pinned pretty deep here. So let's see what happens.
Lakeman in trouble. He sheds one tackle, decides to run with it. Oh, what a smart decision. It's an easy first down. And how is that not a flag?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Lakeman was completely defenseless and he gets sandwiched in the turf.
We have seen so much less called for a late hit. Wow, that was so late too. I can't believe that wasn't a flag. But I have to credit the decision for John Lakeman to tuck it and run. Breaking that first tackle was really impressive. He's not a runner, but he had enough real estate in front of him to get that first down.
I mean, you better believe this is a chippy contest. The Corbin Cup on the line.
Yeah.
And the refs are letting him go at it. Lakeman, deep shot right side on the hash marks, and there is Reed to continue the drive.
Yeah, what do we know, right? I mean, we keep saying, oh, it's kind of weird they're not spreading the ball out. Well, if Davius Reed and Benjamin Warner keep making these catches, especially these up-the-middle plays where they're going to get smacked by these safeties, why not keep going at them? But, it's just a great catch by Davius Reed.
And off Hogland. And Hogland gains about 2 yards as Danny Stinson brings him down. And Charleston looking to go back-to-back in Corbin Cup victories for the first time since season 17-18 when they won the season 17 week 11 game 13-6 over Carolina, and then they blew out Carolina here in David A. Richardson 32-10 in week 10 of season 18. Hogland on another give, another couple yards.
Carolina's defense has impressed me in this game, just taking care of Hogland. I mean, Charleston's not really giving them a ton of different looks from Hogland. They're doing a lot of just up-the-middle plays, which makes sense for the former fullback, but Carolina's been ready for it. He's well under his average for this season.
Another rollout. Now goes middle, tipped, incomplete. I think that was Stinson. Yeah, it was, who got a hand to it, and that will bring up 4th down just outside the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to punt this one away with Eric Blueberry. I thought they might be in no man's land, figuring they got to get more points on the board, but there's still a lot of time. We'll see what Eric Blueberry does here with this punt.
Tried, angle it right side. It's a short but high punt. Take a Charleston bounce. Oh, yeah. What a fantastic bounce. It eventually goes out of bounds near the 7-yard line. An excellent punt from Eric Blueberry, and Carolina is backed up deep in their own territory.
It's not sexy to talk about the punting game. I get that. But honestly, Eric Blueberry has been a really, really nice field position changer for Charleston. And the games I've called, he's had a couple of really nice, long, deep punts and also these kind of coffin corners. And they're set up really deep in their own territory.
Especially from the 6-yard line, they go with McBride, and she will go backwards near the 5-yard line. A loss of 1 on the play as Charleston's defense starts to ramp up on the pressure. They smell blood in the water.
Yeah, Khalil Thomas, that was his 18th tackle for a loss this season. They were ready for it. We'll see. It's a little risky for Matt South to just kind of let it rip here, but I might give it to Ivan McBride again to see if they can get some chunks back here.
Another blitz coming from the outside. McBride through one. Stamango finally upends her. She'll gain the yard lost and a couple more. That brings up 3rd and 8. All right, John, 3rd down inside your own 10. Do you pass the ball, or do you just try and give a little bit more room for your punter on 4th?
I think you give a little more room for your punter. I mean, I think you give the ball to Ike McBride and see what she can do. I mean, she's made Stamango and some other players just real sorry to try to tackle her one-on-one. I would at least just try that and see what happens. But, that's not what's happening here.
3-man rush and nearly taken away. Oh, that was close. J.W. Hartshorn smelled touchdown as the pass came to him, but just couldn't concentrate long enough to bring in the pass. And so it is 4th down.
There's a reason Hartshorn is not playing slot receiver on Charleston's offense, but he almost had his 3rd pick of the season, and that would have been good for 6. That was dangerous pass from Matt South.
I mean, right now, the slot receiver for Charleston's offense are just non-existent to this point.
Yeah,
no targets.
Zero targets. Yeah, exactly.
No receptions. As Adobe will call the fair catch at Carolina's 45-yard line. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Here comes Davius Reed in motion into the slot near side. 3-3 nickel look out of Carolina, handoff Hogland through the middle, looking for extra yards and tumbling over Danny Stinson for another yard. A total of 9 on the carry.
I like that play call a lot. You put Davius Reed in motion, kind of see what the play, what the defense is giving you. Then he handed off to Hogland, and I think they were expecting a pass there with Davius Reed in motion. Hogland got a nice 9-yard pickup there.
So 2nd and only a yard to go here for Charleston. They'll go back to Hogland. The offensive line created a humongous hole for Hogland, and it's no doubt he's got another 1st down.
They are eating. They had held Hogland to, I think, under 3.5 yards per carry before this drive, and now he's, I think, got like 17 alone. So Hogland's getting going, and that's probably great news for Charleston.
15 in total there for Hogland on the drive. 2 wideouts. You're on 1st down, I formation behind Lakeman. It is Storm in the backfield, but not Hogland for the play. They typically like to throw to him in these type of situations, but instead they look over the middle to Reed, and Reed just dropped it.
Yeah, Reed has been the intended recipient of some kind of poorly placed and timed balls from Lakeman, but that one was pretty much on the money. He had him in stride. He just couldn't reel it in. Again, I mean, these receivers have been outstanding, but sometimes they'll be in stride. They'll be too open, and they'll drop these pretty easy passes. I've seen Brian Murphy do it. I've seen Warner. I've seen Reed do it. It's an interesting phenomenon.
Reed is now 50% on receptions compared to targets tonight. Hogland on the pitch near side. Davidson Joseph there in on the stop after the 2-yard pickup, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, it is an October miracle that Christopher Colon did not come away with a tackle for a loss there. Nick Hogland maybe saw his life flash before his eyes in the backfield, but got a couple of yards out of it.
4 wide, 5-man rush pass right side. It is caught. Then dragging defenders all the way to the 15 is Davius Reed. He makes up for the early incompletion with a catch of his own.
Hey, if you need a completely improbable, bonkers circus catch, just call Davius Reed or Benjamin Warner. If you need kind of an open standing in the field, kind of an agoraphobic reception, they're not the guys. But 2-minute warning, it's been a good game so far.
Down by 3. Can Charleston put some more points on the board before the end of the half? You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Charleston come out in offset I as we exit the 2-minute warning. 10-7 Carolina. Hogland through the middle on 1st down. Gains only a couple.
Yeah, Lakeman's been cool, calm, and collected. He's put the balls exactly where he's needed to, and Hogland's been a nice change of pace for this offense. They needed him to come on, and it's been a good drive with a lot of balance.
7th play of the drive. 4 of the 6 plays already have been runs by Nick Hogland. Blitz coming, and down goes Lakeman. Oh, coming out of nowhere was Levant Ryan for the sack, and it's 3rd and 10.
This ball was going to Brian Murphy the entire time. He was going to pass him out to the flat. That's why he put him in motion. Levon Irvine just gave him absolutely no chance to get that ball out. That is a designed pass to come out quickly, and Levon Irvine was there so fast it couldn't develop.
Second sack of the season for Irvine. Pass near side intended for Warner. Flag comes in after the ball falls to the turf. Here's the referee. Pass interference on Carolina. It's a first down for the Predators.
Yeah, Warner taketh away and also giveth. He was the perpetrator of a pretty stupid penalty earlier, but got hugely interfered with. I think that was the right call there. Got messed with by Chris Delro. I think that was a good call, and a big mistake from Delro. The yardage, not a big deal. The bigger deal is obviously stopping the clock and giving Charleston the first down.
That's a tough assignment. The former SFL champion Lynx Chris Delro, the rookie, on a 7-season vet in Warner. It's tough. That's a tough assignment for any rookie. Lakeman, end zone, off the helmet, and still fluttering to the turf this time. Incomplete. Amariaman England, lucky his helmet was in the way to stop that pass.
Yeah, that was a helmet stoink, and Charleston's lucky that they didn't have another player back there to get that tip drill, but it bounced right off Warner's helmet and out the back of the end zone.
Minute 5 to go here in quarter number 2. Pass play. Lakeman on the screen looking for Storm. Can't get too many yards on the play. Hatley brings him down. That brings up 3rd and goal for Charleston.
Yeah, Lakeman probably could have passed that ball a bit more underneath to give Saren Storm a little more room to work with that blocker. I don't know if Saren Storm would have had enough blocking to get to the end zone, but certainly better than it turned out.
Lakeman in the gun. He has trips to his right. Looking to throw, pressure coming, middle. It's caught, turning upfield. It's a touchdown on Adobe. First reception of the game is a touchdown.
And Lakeman found him right on time in more ways than one. He needed to get more receivers involved. He does that. And also, Lakeman was about to get absolutely eaten for lunch and release that ball in the nick of time. That was a good route from Honus Adobe, who's had a few nice returns today, but that's his first catch and his first touchdown grab of the season. So good job, young man.
Took him all the way to week 13, didn't he, bud? As he kicks. They kick the extra point, Brad Bretschett, and now Charleston retake their lead, now 14-10, and it's a back-and-forth ball game. It took us a little bit. All the scoring happened in the first quarter early on, and all of a sudden we have to wait to the 2-minute warning to get the next score. Fun contest nonetheless, John?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, Lakeman had a really good drive. That was a really solid drive. Really good balance, and obviously getting more receivers involved is exactly what they needed.
Prasad on the return, gets near the 20-yard line as we go back to SFL headquarters for our first game break of the night. Over to you, Cam.
Thank you, Tyler. Louisiana is 5-5 as well. Jacksonville still rolling with that 2 quarterback combo. This is O.J. Bruin to Kingston Ellington for the score, but Louisiana's back in the red zone as they end the first quarter, tied at 7. Back to you in Raleigh.
Thank you, Cam. First play under a minute for the Skyhawks. And it looks like they're going to try and go into the halftime down by 4. They will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, they seem to be content. They seem to be content to let their defense kind of settle. Think about how that last drive did not go their way on defense. Oh, well.
That's left side.
Wow.
Looking for Quintero. Incomplete. The hit from J.W. Hartshorn helped to jar the ball free.
Thought we'd get a couple of runs and maybe a kneel down to head into the half, but we got a quick pass out to the flat, which it's kind of a dangerous pass from Matt South, but I wonder what they'll dial up here.
South is 2 of 7.
Yeah, it's rough.
He's going to look to pass for only the 8th time tonight. South in trouble. Oh, my goodness. He is buried in the backfield by Thomas Matthews for the sack.
That is such a huge mistake for Carolina to stop that clock on that second down pass and now to give up the sack, and Charleston calls the timeout and smartly because they say, hey, why not? We're going to get good field position. Lakeman's been balling out over the past drive. Let's see what happens.
Team leading 4th sack of the season by Thomas Matthews. Wow. And Hannes Adobe can't go anywhere on the return, stopped up by Delro. And that is where Charleston will take over. They have 16 seconds and 2 timeouts to see if they can't put up even more points before the half.
And Brechet's 100% field goal kicker this year. So it's, it's like they don't need that much yardage to get into his range and try to do a last-second field goal here.
Lakeman to throw, looking just near side. Flag comes in. Warner was interfered with. That's only a 3-second runoff on the clock. And so Charleston gets a free first down closer to field goal range.
It wasn't Delro this time, it was Davidson Joseph who interfered with Warner. And wow, I mean, you can't do that. You're probably not giving up a huge play by letting Warner catch that ball and tackling him in bounds. Interfering, it stops the clock and moves the chains.
This has become a very chippy ball game as Hogland gets the call on the ground. He will gain maybe a yard, maybe losing half a yard. Clock continues to run, and they'll have to use their second timeout as they were in a running formation and really didn't decide to pass out of it. Very mind-boggling, and that'll bring up a Hail Mary situation.
Yeah, two actually really poorly managed offensive drives. Carolina with that last one trying to pass the ball out from their territory and then giving up that sack. Now Charleston just kind of being indecisive about what they want to do. I don't even think they're going to pass a Hail Mary here. This looks like a run.
And Hogland does get the call, and so they call a timeout with 3 seconds to go, thinking they'd go Hail Mary. Instead, they lined up in a very heavy set, run the ball, lose a yard, and we hit halftime with the Predators up 14-10. It no longer matters how many timeouts each team have because they now each have 3 as we enter into half number 2. It's the Predators, John, out on top, a team who we knew a little bit more about the identity of the defense and the offense finally clicking there at the end of the half to give them back the lead.
Yeah, let's throw out the wonky last couple of drives from Carolina and Charleston. Let's talk about how Lakeman, he gave up that early interception. It was a terrible pass, but he hung in there. He's found his receivers. That last drive was really impressive, a lot of balance. And Carolina's not putting enough pressure on Lakeman like they were earlier in the ball game. For Carolina, Ike McBride has been great, but that's not surprising. What is a little surprising is that Matt South is playing a terrible game. I mean, he's only completed about 28% of the passes, and he's got to get into a better rhythm for the second half. Otherwise, Carolina is going to be going into next week at 5-6.
So we'll welcome you back to David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Tyler Falk and John Warren here on the call. Happy to have your company, and a special shout out to Tristan Hatley and Ike McBride and the Stats Truck, and of course our amazing, spectacular, wonderful SFL commissioner is our producer, Mr. Cameron Irvine, and we welcome you back to quarter number 3 here on this Friday evening. Quintero on the return here for the Carolina Skyhawks. He gets it all the way up to the 28-yard line. That is where Carolina will start their first offensive possession of the second half. And like we were talking about, Matt South really hasn't been called on too much tonight, but he hasn't been able to really be effective. It's been the run game that has been the story of the show, and it is typically the story of the show for this Carolina offense.
Yeah, Matt South has got to get going. I mean, they're not gonna beat Charleston by just running Ike McBride. Ike McBride's a great player, but they got to get the passing game involved here.
They go to Hattori Hanzo, the fullback, and he puts a man into the turf and gains 6.
Yeah, I mean, change the pace a little bit. I mean, Ike McBride is not only the only killer in that backfield. Hattori Hanzo has been a good player, both in the passing game and in the running game. So good to get him involved as well.
So now on 2nd and 4. Now come out in A goal line eye, 8 men in the box here for Charleston. McBride on the give. Nothing doing. Charleston did a great job of plugging up those holes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it's another example of like, okay, you're ahead of the sticks. You're having a decent beginning to this drive. Why not try to pass it downfield? Try to get some of these receivers going. Make Charleston have to give you different looks, and they just haven't done that yet.
South will look to throw. Middle, one-handed snag, first down. Riley Quintero.
There's a reason Riley Quintero is their leading pass catcher. It's because of plays like that. Really, really nice play in the middle. Much needed first down to get Carolina's offense going here.
3 wide with an I form behind South, and McBride gets the call again, and she tries to lunge forward for more than just a yard, but Gino McFly there to stop her. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9 here for the Skyhawks, and it's typically been Ike McBride who's run the show. More often than not, she gets the call on the stretch play near side. She gets a good enough yardage that'll gain about 6 for Ike. That'll bring up 3rd and what should be manageable.
Yeah, that was good blocking on that play. Back into the midfield there. Ike McBride, you can see, averaging about 3.5 a carry. It's a little under her average, but still an effective runner today. It's moved the chains a few times.
Already converted on 3rd down once the drive. Can they do it again? McBride is gang tackled at midfield. Leading the charge was Jack Brown. And it's 4th and 1. Here at home, you have the crowd behind you. They keep the offense on the field.
Wow. This is kind of surprising, but I like it. Midfield, 4th and 1. Season may be on the line to some extent. Let's go. I like the
I
aggression.
formation. McBride, the schmear, pushing the pile, and they get to her behind the line. Nothing doing. Charleston slammed the door, and it's a turnover on downs.
That is kind of surprising. You see the defender here, Johnson, looks like got to the end of that play, made the tackle. You kind of got the feeling that if Ike McBride had just a couple more seconds, she was about to break through. But that was a great tackle behind the line. And wow, Charleston is set up nicely at midfield.
That's quite surprising for Carolina, who is 2nd in terms of 4th down conversion percentage with 75. They miss on this one. Hogland gains about 7 as we have an injured Skyhawk on the field. It's Danny Stinson, the middle linebacker.
And that is a tough injury. That is a really tough injury. Second leading tackler on this team. They would miss him in the middle. Also, tied for the most interceptions on the team. So he's tough in the middle, both in the running game and the passing game. Hopefully he's okay.
We'll bring you an injury report as soon as we are able to. In the case of Danny Stinson, that is a massive blow. Only 2-star linebackers for Carolina. They now have to go to the well to try and help shore up the middle. Monte Wyatt brings down Hogland after a gain of 2.
Yeah, I wonder if Charleston's going to, smell chum in the water here and try to give the ball a lot more to Nick Hogland here in the second half and control that time of possession like they have so many times this season.
Offside eye behind. Lakeman, handoff, fullback. It's Sutherland, and Sutherland gets the first down for now. It looked pretty close.
That's an interesting spot. We'll see if there's a challenge there. That was awfully close. I was about to say, in real time, looked like Sutherland was a little bit short. I think Charleston's going to go for this, kind of no matter what the outcome is here, but it would not surprise me if they overturn this. I can't wait to see the replay.
And so, Harish Prasad, the head coach, throws the flag. We take a look under the hood, and we take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at goretroid.com. That's not an ideal angle. Here's a better one.
And you know what? And I think, again, in fast motion, that line is technically not official, but that looked like maybe it was the right call.
And it is overturned.
It.
It's going to be short by maybe a eyelash.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be short by about an inch or two, so it would not shock me if they just go for it again.
4th and inches for Charleston.
Lakeman's still in the game, so yeah, here we go.
Here we go. The Carolina offense failed on a 4th down conversion. Can the Predators have better fortune? 4th and inches from the 39-yard line. They will pass on 4th and inches. Looking left side, open inside the 25-yard line. Completely bamboozled the Sky Gang defense, and it is Brian Murphy, the tight end, with the first down.
That is one of my favorite play calls of the year. Just a one-on-one, Murphy absolutely beating Davidson Joseph off the line, which is so surprising. I guess Davidson Joseph was expecting to run there, saw Brian Murphy run past wide open. That would have been 6 if that had been a safety or a linebacker instead of the speedy Davidson Joseph. But wow, what a play.
There's the call through the middle. And Saren Storm, on one of his few rushing plays this season, gains 1.
It's so effective to have a player like Hogland, who is so good in short yardage situations coming from a fullback background, to totally rope-a-dope Carolina into thinking run when they did that pass.
Hogland originally stopped by Wyatt. Phil Hall comes in late to bring him down. It is now 3rd and about 7 to go. Lakeman under center with 4 wide receivers. 3-2 dime package for Carolina. Lakeman underneath somehow finds Warner inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, Preds.
Looked absolutely awkward coming out of his hand. He kind of twisted his body in a strange way, but still found Warner. What a pass. I mean, how did that get there? Kind of on a rope, really low. Warner with an outstanding catch to get down, make that play, and they're set up 1st and goal. Interesting formation here.
104 receiving yards for Benjamin Warner. 1st and goal from the 6. Handoff Hogland, looking for extra blockers and leaning into it, getting all the way up to near the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal.
Patient running, lots of blockers. That was a good run by Hogland. I like that play call to give him a different look and see what happens. And Carolina not ready for that, but they've stacked the box now.
Another power eye. The defense for Carolina overloading the strong side of the offensive formation. They pitch that way with Hogland. Hogland is turned aside. No gain.
Yeah, Carolina was ready for that one. That was a great dialed up play for Carolina. They stuck with it. A little surprised Lakeman didn't check out of that one and maybe go to some sort of play action. But 3rd down play here. This is exciting stuff.
1 wide receiver, 2 backfield. Hogland looking through the middle, and he's got it. Touchdown, Nick Hogland, and the Preds take a 10-point lead.
I thought this play got blown up for Charleston at first blush, but Hogland then kind of reappeared out from behind him. Oh, man, that was really close. Just at the last second, he's got real skinny and into the end zone, and now this is a 2-possession game. Carolina's got to come up with an answer here, otherwise it's going to get late early here in Raleigh.
14th rushing touchdown of the season for Nick Hogland. And here comes Brechet. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good. Another wayward left to right action, and there must be a whole bunch of wind here in Raleigh as the kick is up and good. 21-10. here from David A.
Never a dull moment. Brad Brechet just deciding to make these kicks look weird, but making them anyway.
We are back underway here late on here in the third quarter. Here comes Prasad on the return here for Carolina, looking for extra blockers. Will be taken down at the 29-yard line. Now available free to download, you can play the SFL video game on the go with the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K23 right in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com, search SFL, and then download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL. Carolina in an 11-point hole, picked off! Oh my goodness! Sam Blotner came out of nowhere and just stole it like taking the candy from a baby.
Sam Blotner, I mean, he had this scope from nanosecond one, saw Matt South's eyes, read him like a book. That was a huge interception. Now Charleston is the one set up with incredible field position after an interception. And wow, this is could be a backbreaker if they end up converting on this drive.
I'm calling it here. That's our nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K 23. 2-yard pickup on the carry.
You're going to get some angry letters for giving that award to a non-receiver, but I agree with you. That was a perfectly timed. It was a great interception, and yeah, that was a nice hands catch indeed. I think that was let's see, yeah, that was Blotner's third interception of the season.
And Hogland gets an extra block downfield, but allows for Monte Wyatt and company to come swooping in and take down Hogland before the first down marker. What Carolina's hoping to do is just allow a field goal. That would still result in only a 2-score ball game with 13 minutes to go in regulation. That's still plenty of time for them to come back in this game. But right now, they need a stop here on 3rd and short. Hogland again, looking through the middle. He leans forward, wow. And for now, Mojo McLean denies Hogland a first down.
If that, yeah, I'm a little surprised at that spot. Yep, there we go. There's the spike of the red flag. We're going to get a challenge here. You know, like that Terrell Sutherland run, I thought in real time there was no way that was a first down, and now I'm have the opposite. I thought that looked like a first down to me, but we'll take a look at the tape.
And so, because Jacob Clear threw the red hanky, we take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com, and we'll see whether or not the knee was down before or after the line to gain. And I think the refs actually got this call right.
We can't see where the ball is, but yeah, you might be right. And it stands, yeah. So good call there.
And so, Charleston will be charged one of their 3 timeouts, which, you know, if they keep the lead, it might not matter. But 4th and inches, do you bring back on your offense to try and go for it? Instead, up by 11, out comes Brad Brechet to try and hit a 34-yard attempt. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it hooks back through the uprights. It is up and good. 24-10. Charleston edge out their lead just a little further. The playoffs are almost here, and Week 13 has matchups that mean everything to the postseason picture. Top matchups include Central leader Indianapolis visiting 5-5 Vegas on Saturday, and on Sunday 7-4 Canton heads to 5-5 DC. For the full SFL slate of games this weekend, head on over to simulationfl.net and don't miss a minute of the action.
Yeah, when you have an automatic kicker like Brechet, I think that play call gets a little bit easier. You say, hey, let's just take the points. But this late in the season, so much on the line, I'm a little surprised they didn't go for it, try to extend this lead even more. But we'll see if it comes back to bite them.
Now here comes the Skyhawk offense after the interception from South. Just a few plays ago, he'll dump it off to Ike McBride. McBride puts another man to the turf and still going up the sideline. A nice first down to near the 36-yard line for Ike McBride.
And Matt South's just gonna. I mean, now he's got to pass the ball a lot, and he's been terrible today. So having these checkdowns, having these flat plays to Ike McBride, who's really been their only offensive bright spot, makes a lot of sense. And hopefully it'll get Matt South into a rhythm, get a few completions going, so he can actually manage the game down the stretch, because they gotta score a couple times here.
Just 4 of 10. That's his first completion since early on in the third quarter. Blitz coming. South middle. Incomplete. He tried to fit that one into traffic and to his receiver, Chase Earl.
Aside from that one interception, Lakeman's been having a good game. 65% completion, almost 100 QBR. Matt South's QBR is sitting at 18 right now, which is just abysmal. It's one of his worst performances.
We'll see if he turns it around late in the game, just when Carolina need him to. Handoff McBride, near side, another hefty stiff arm from McBride, and she's free behind a few more defenders. Just when you think she can't get into another gear, there she goes. First down again for the Skyhawks.
I mean, you keep feeding her. I mean, it's like you're daring Charleston to stop her, and they haven't really had a good answer for her. And I think, again, you can't just keep running the ball. You've got to mix it up with the pass, because you've got to score twice. But Ike McBride is getting into a rhythm. Her average is going up a little bit closer to her season average of 4 a carry, and having a great game so far.
But backfield again. Here comes Hanzo on the give. And Hatari Hanzo gains about 6 yards before he's taken down. 2nd and 4 with under a minute 30 to go in the third quarter.
And they don't have to be in a rush. I mean, Matt South doesn't have to force something, but they do need to be efficient. They do probably need to score on this drive. Otherwise, it's going to be really tough for them to get back into this ballgame.
They can still continue to run this style of offense at the moment. It's working for them here on this drive. They go back to the ground game. McBride behind Hanzo, and Hanzo couldn't get out of the way quick enough, and so Sam Blotner comes up with a tackle, 3rd and short. Under a minute to go now here in quarter number 3. Offset eye behind South. 8 men in the box for Charleston. Do they run it again? They do, this time with Hanzo. And Hanzo gains about 7. And another blip of the down marker back to 1. Skyhawks drive continues.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little surprising. I have to be honest. I mean, Charleston could be stacking the box a little bit better. Could be giving a tougher look in the middle, because they know that Matt South has not really gotten anything going in the passing game. But yeah, they're just kind of daring Charleston to stop this running attack, and so far it's not really working.
Haven't really seen too many defensive shifts to try and plug up the hole. They're trying to more or less use their speed to cover all angles of this running game. And here comes a blitz. South to throw, and could not find Hanzo out of the backfield. Incomplete.
And that could be so demoralizing for an offensive line. They picked up that blitz perfectly. Matt South was really not in any sort of pressure. He had a clean pocket. And when Matt South cannot connect when the pocket is that clean on a blitz, that means that you've got good mismatches out in coverage and you're not taking advantage of them. It's pretty demoralizing.
Final play of the quarter. South will look to pass near side. Good deflection from Khalil Thomas. And that'll bring up 3rd down when we come back. It is 24-10. The Skyhawks down by 14. Can they make a comeback? We're about to find out. For now, over to Chris Curtis to tell you what our rights are.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
So we welcome you back to David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium, and Danny Stinson with a hyperextended shoulder, potentially on his way back. Maybe he's questionable to return. He's a key part of that Carolina defense. And so we welcome you back to David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. Tyler Falk alongside John Ward here for the 16th edition of the now known as the Corbin Cup. As South takes off and runs for it, a veteran move, gains 9 when he saw nothing downfield. It'll be 4th and 1, and I would like to see Carolina go for it.
Oh, I mean, same. And they're not going to, which I think is maybe an indictment of Matt South, which is a shame because you got to get the win here. You can't just play this conservatively. But
field goal is up and good. However, so it brings it back to within 11 points, and with still a little under 10 minutes to go, there is still time if the defense holds. 24-13 now is your score. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit 8pmmusic.com. As the kickoff for the next possession ends up as a touchback. And so, here comes Charleston from their own 20-yard line. Can they get back those 3 points or maybe more? Their last drive was led by Nick Hogland down the field to really get them in prime position, and he tacked off that drive with a nice rushing touchdown. And he gets the call here on first down and gains about 2 after being taken down by the replacement for Danny Stinson, Fletcher.
Yeah, I mean, the call to go for 3 there for Carolina is basically saying, hey, we trust our defense to get these stops. Without Stinson, it's tougher, but it's not impossible. We know they've gotten some stops this season when they needed them, and they're going to try to do it here.
Pitch play for Storm, looking to the outside, out of Monte Wyatt's tackle, and finally taken down after a gain of about 6 or 7, and that'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, really nice effort for that 6-yard gain there. Saren Storm has not been a big part of this offense today, but that was a good change of pace to get them into a better position. And now this is huge. This is a huge 3rd down for Carolina's defense.
Charleston has had a lot of 3rd downs today. It's a credit to this Carolina defense. They are 10 of 14, though, tonight. Hogland the give, make him 11 of 15. It is a phenomenal day for this Charleston offense. They have found a way when down, when they look down, especially about midway through the season, they have found a way to claw themselves in and away from their opponents. And again, they convert on 3rd down. Benjamin Warner now the man in motion on first down after the conversion. Hand off to Hogland, and he's trying to barrel his way through Christopher Colon and company, but Colon gets a little help and takes him down after a gain of 1.
If you're going to get hot in the SFL, doing it toward the end of the season is kind of what you want to do. And Charleston's been really hot. They've still done it in kind of this weird, inconsistent way, but they've clawed these victories out from their games when they've had to have them. So it's an interesting turn of events.
Similar looking formation here for Charleston. Pitch play near side for Hogland. He's trying to outrace his opposite number and cannot get away from Shravan Prasad. They'll give him a courtesy yard on the play, though.
Yeah, Prasad was right there, and I'm surprised Hogland was not able to outrun the linebacker, but Prasad just relentless in his pursuit. That's a really nice play.
3rd and 7 now. 3-man rush. Lakeman near side. That's caught by Benjamin Warner. One of the least contested passes that he's had to try and catch, and he hauls that one in for another first down.
And that's just a gut punch, right? For Carolina's defense, I mean, they felt like they had a nice little string of plays there, that good stop from Prasad. And that was, I mean, you're right. It was actually one of Warner's easier catches of the game, but it was still a tough kind of 50-50 ball, and he just went up and grabbed it. He's averaging about 17 yards a catch. It's about 4 yards above his average this season.
5-man rush just to flip out near side for Hogland. He gets out of one, and then finally Davidson Joseph ushers him out of bounds after a gain of 7. Second down now here for Charleston.
And they're going to wind the clock too, so pushing them out of bounds didn't really matter all that much, but it was still a good play from Hogland.
Power eye look. They're on 2nd and 3. They go back to Hogland right side. He just outraces his blockers, and Wyatt has to clean him up at the 34-yard line. Otherwise, Hogland gone.
Yeah, Hogland had nothing but sunny day real estate in front of him, and but ended up being stopped by Monty Wyatt. That was a great run from Hogland. He's gotten going here in the second half, which is good for Charleston, bad for Carolina, especially when one of their best tacklers in the middle is still out with an injury.
Fletcher's still in there for Stinson. Doesn't look like he'll return anytime soon, as Storm gets a little bit of love now late in the game. Here on the running game, he gains 5, and it's a massive credit to this offensive line, who have done a phenomenal job opening holes for Storm and, more importantly, Hogland to scamper through. Here is Hogland again. Gets a few extra blocks on the outside and gains about 4 yards. And now Carolina is really up against it.
Yeah, they are. You alluded to the line. This line is talented. And Molyneux and Jamarcus the fourth and the Jameses and Nebuchadnezzar. These are nice, consistent players, even though Jamarcus is a rookie. They've been opening holes for this backfield the entire season.
Another gift for Hogland through the middle. Another 3rd down conversion, their 3rd of the drive, and now they're closing in on a 5-minute drive.
That's been one of their staples all year. They have been dominant in time of possession in most of their contests, and this is no different. After this play, I want to talk a little bit about kind of what the playoff positioning means if the score holds.
Exactly 5 minutes now from when this drive started. Here for Charleston, play number 12 of the drive. It's a life-sucking drive out of Carolina at the moment from this Charleston offense. Hogland on the give. He is ushered back inside by Mojo McClain. It's a gain of 3 for Nick.
Yeah, so you alluded to it earlier. I mean, a loss here for Carolina doesn't quite hurt them as much as a loss for Charleston did because of some strength of schedule stuff. But I still kind of expected Carolina to come out, especially in front of a home crowd, with a little more fire, a little more aggression. We haven't seen that. And now Charleston's just sucking the life out of them with this massive, massive drive.
Doesn't matter too much if they lose here tonight, but it means they must win next week versus Baltimore. Hogland again on the outside. Is an excellent run from Nick Hogland, his 2nd of the game, and they bust the game wide open. Touchdown, Charleston.
I mean, are you kidding me with this effort? Obviously, the downfield blocking was outstanding for Hogland, but he really did a lot of work here. I mean, just making people miss, and that stiff arm absolutely sprung them to the outside. Propelled them. Absolutely nothing they could do. They definitely missed Stinson on that drive, and that's a killer. I mean, now Carolina's going to have to air it out basically every single play, and it's going to be really, really tough to come back from this with under 4 minutes left. But oof, what a drive from Charleston.
Hoagies on Charleston tonight, 31-13 as the extra point is up, but good. 13 plays, 79 yards, 5 minutes. 47 seconds, and a clinic from this red-hot Charleston Predator squad at the moment.
Yeah, I love the confidence. I mean, Lakeman has not looked confident every single game, but this offense kind of has looked more confident, especially over the past few weeks, and that was one of the best drives that I've seen all season.
Can Carolina do anything to get back in this game? Harish Prasad on the return gets all the way up to the 28-yard line. With 3:45 to go, it's going to be go, go, go from the first snap of the drive.
Yeah, this is going to have to be a track meet. It's like Charleston ought to just put their dime package in and let them sit deep, because Carolina's not airing this one out every single play. Then they're not really trying. So we'll see what Matt South can do. He's only completed 4 passes. He's going to have to complete a lot more than that to get back into this ball game.
4 of 13, which results, for all you math people out there, 30% passing. Pass over the middle, incomplete. Stamango nearly had the second pick at the ball game. That really would have put the final nail in the coffin for Carolina.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Carolina is not trying to work the outside a little bit. I know that, that Charleston's obviously expecting it, but something on the sideline, something a little bit underneath, maybe 15 yards, stop the clock, but instead went to the middle and not the best pass.
Trips to South's left here on second down, looking to throw left side in the direction. It's a beautifully tipped ball from Matt Ryan, incomplete. And now that they're expecting it, this Charleston defense is going to be a tough nut to crack through the air.
Yeah, Will. Wouldn't surprise me, too, if they sent pressure on this third down play, pin their ears back. They're up by so much. It kind of makes sense to just say, hey, let's end this thing now. But doesn't look like it there. But they've only got three on the line. Everyone else is kind of back deep. So we'll see.
South middle, in and out of a hand. Intended target. That is Vince DeSantis. And it brings up 4th and 10 and potentially 4th and ball game.
Now, South seems like too locked into the assignments, the progression. Hey, go here, go here. He's not really giving a lot of time. Even though he had a clean pocket and only 3-man rush, he had time for that to develop and didn't let it. 4th down here.
Blitz coming, pass caught, Prasad! Can't get there! He's a yard short, and that's 2 4th down attempts for Carolina that end up being turnover on downs. Stamango with the game-sealing tackle.
Yeah, Stamango with an outstanding tackle there to save the first down. Stamango's embarrassed a little bit earlier by a couple of Ike McBride shoulders to the chest, but Stamango has been outstanding in the second half with a few really key tackles, and he's put the final stamp on this one.
And so here comes John Lakeman for Charleston. Will hand off to Storm, who gains about 4 more yards, and the milking of the clock will commence. And as we touch on the Charleston defense once again here, John, it's not the first time they've held an opposing quarterback to a very porous passing attack, but 2 weeks ago, this same Predator defense held Tommy Utah of Louisiana to 10 of 38 and just 129 passing yards. But this one by far, this game for this Charleston defense is going to be one that not just is not going to reflect on tonight's game or this week's game or not just the season's game. This might be one of the lowest passing attacks we have seen in recent SFL memory. Under 100 yards for Matt South tonight. Just around 72 passing yards. This Charleston defense has been incredible, maybe record-breaking tonight.
It's just a shame that the Carolina's just been so flat. Yes, credit to this Charleston defense. They've been outstanding, and like you said, they've done it a few times this season. But I really expected more from Matt South in this offense. I mean, I know that their passing attack has been inconsistent. Quintero has been the focal point and just the guy that they know that they've got to stop. And so it makes this offense a little bit predictable. But yeah, this performance has just been really flat by Carolina. Give Charleston a lot of credit, but I also expected maybe a different game plan from Carolina. Come out, look a little more aggressive, look a little more confident, say, hey, listen, I know we've lost 3 of 4, but we're in position. We're in control of our own destiny here. We can come out strong, and they did not impress me in this game.
Third and 8. They will look to run with Hogland again. Gets by 1, gets by 2. Hogland's off again.
My.
Hogland's just going to rub salt into the wound, and the Corbin Cup is going back with Charleston to South Carolina.
I mean, Coach said, hey, Nick, run the clock out. And Nick said, did you say score a touchdown? I couldn't hear you over the sound of my own broken tackles. And that's another touchdown for Nick Hogland. Oh, man, this is a romp now.
The hat trick of touchdowns for Hogland brings us to the 2-minute warning. Here in the ball game, David A. Richardson is just looking to go home at this point. This is the SFL in Week 13.
You can see it on the board there, 156 yards on 33 carries. Hogland only, I think, had 4 carriers or something like that after the first quarter and a half, and they have really fed him here in the second half. And boy, it has been quite the difference maker. When this team is a little more balanced on offense, it takes a lot of pressure off John Lakeman, and it makes those running lanes and those routes open up for Charleston. And this team looks dangerous right now in a lot of ways. They're one of the most interesting teams in the SFL.
Here's Prasad on the return, gets it all the way out to the 30-yard line, and we go back to the Bayou, and Cameron Irvine is an update from Louisiana.
Thank you, Tyler. An unlikely hero tonight in this one for Louisiana. Tommy Utah to Chris Grant Jr. 2 receiving touchdowns for the running back, 1 rushing touchdown for CGJ. But Jacksonville just scored a touchdown, a run to Shepard Vicarian. So still a good one over there. 31-21 in the third. When you're done in North Carolina, back to you.
Thank you, Cam. Can Matt South get over 100 yards passing tonight? Or will he be one of the very few quarterbacks to not have a 100-yard passing performance? As South looks, that's a gain of about 12 yards. That's a nicer pass for Matt South. First down Carolina, and they call their first time out.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good-looking pass. Say what you will about garbage time. We know Matt South is so capable of putting together a good drive here. It's just he hasn't had much chance, but Harish Prasad brought it in for the nice catch there.
6th completion of the ball game for Matt South as he sends the tight end DeSantis in motion. 3-2 dime look here for Charleston. They're sitting back in zone, pass middle. There's another 12-yard pickup, this time to Prasad, and they are creeping ever closer to 100 yards passing.
Yeah, Prasad said, hey, QB1, let's get you above 100 yards so we can shut the commentary booth up. And Harish has been a nice target on this drive early. We'll see if Matt South can continue the chemistry here.
4 receivers in the pattern for Matt South. Can he help send the Carolina faithful home with a little bit of joy? Looking to throw near side. There is Prasad, and that more than likely is over 100 yards, and the infamy is no longer needed for Matt South.
Good for Matt South. I mean, he is better than this scoreline. I mean, obviously he is a better quarterback than this game would show. It's just one of those that he wants to forget, throw out this game plan, come back next week with a better one.
Going to get 2 more completions for 10 completions. Hey, there's Vince DeSantis to about the 15-yard line. That's another first down. And they hustle back to the line under a minute and a half to go here in the final frame of regulation. 4 wide receivers. Here comes a blitz. South. He's nearly picked off by J.W. Hartsword. That would have been his third interception on South in his career, and that one probably would have made a house call.
Yeah, it would have been. That would have been a different kind of exclamation point than Matt South was expecting coming into this game.
As the Carolina offense has gotten closer to the goal line, this coverage has crept up, and South now in traffic. There's Prasad on a nice little corner out to the 3-yard line. He's now 10 of 23. 139 yards, looking for a touchdown. South to throw, looking middle. It is bubbled and incomplete. At least 4 different Predator defenders were there in the area.
Yeah, that was a scary pass. I expected another shot to Prasad, but said that tried to fit that in there to Vince DeSantis. It didn't happen. Let's see what they dial up here on second down.
3 wide here for South instead of the 4 wide they've used to get all the way down into the red zone. Outside linebacker blitz. South doesn't see it coming, and Geno McFly comes up with a sack, and they hustle back to the line.
Look out. I'm surprised Matt South got up from that. That was a huge hit.
Gonna look to throw again underneath. It is caught by DeSantis, a yard shy of the line to gain, otherwise known as the goal line, and wagging their finger is Khalil Thomas. It's 4th and goal from the 2.
That was Geno McFly's first sack of the season, and could not have come at a better time. And they're kicking a field goal here, huh?
Malone Brown to kick a field goal. They're not going to fake it, and Brown is just going to boot it through the uprights. It's 3 extra points for Malone Brown. They're still down by 22. So
that's stinky, partner.
Well,
that's stinky. I get it, but I don't like it.
Here's what they're going to have to do. If that's going to be the game plan, they're going to need at least, if I do my math right, 7 onside kicks, 8 onside kicks if they want to keep on onside kicking and getting field goals. Instead, the ball on the onside kick is handled correctly for Charleston by J.W. Hartshorn, and that should be your ball game.
I mean, listen, I get it. You want to protect your players. You don't want to do something stupid and embarrass yourself even more. But, yeah, it's just, not a good look. Home crowd kicking field goals when you're down by this much. But, congrats to Charleston. I mean, they've now won, I think, 5 of their last 6 with this victory, and that's huge. What momentum that is for John Lakeman and the rest of this Charleston Predators team.
Another week in the SFL wraps up this week in the SFL, rewinding the tape on what has been an electrifying Week 13, plus Portland hosts Vancouver, with playoff ramifications on the line for both teams. This week in the SFL, 7:15 p.m. Eastern, kickoff 8:15 p.m. Eastern, Monday night, right here on SFL YouTube. As the field goal hits the over, the Preds have won 5 of their last 6, and 3 on the bounce as they take down their heated rivals to the north. The Skyhawks 38-16 they tie the largest ever margin of victory in this series history, and they do it in identical fashion to that season 18 victory. A phenomenal game for the Charleston Predators as they dominate the Skyhawks.
Yeah, and now they go home to face the DC Dragons next week, and Carolina's probably got a win out, and they've got a much tougher assignment against the Baltimore Vultures next week. Carolina almost certainly can't come out looking as flat as they did this game next week against what I think is a better opponent in Baltimore. Charleston is hot right now. I mean, they beat Atlanta. They beat, when they should have beaten Atlanta, but they've also beaten Carolina again a few weeks ago, Louisiana in a pretty easy victory. Motor City V8s was a wild one that they should have probably won by more, but they're still getting wins even when things do not look great. And as opposed to those other ones, which were closer and dirtier and weirder, this one was a pretty clear victory from start to finish from Charleston. John Lakeman looking pretty good down the stretch here. And this defense also, like you alluded to, really impressive, especially against the pass. So we thought this would be maybe a closer game, but Charleston really said, hey, we're the hot one. We're going to continue to be hot, and Carolina's got to regroup and figure out what they're going to do.
real quickly, your player of the game tonight there, John Warren?
God, you know, you got to give it to Hogland, right? I mean, I think, you know, Lakeman to kind of turn this one out, even though he had that early interception, he looked super confident. But Hogland with those 3 touchdowns, who else are you going to give it to? Over 150 yards rushing, and he was, I think, the difference maker to make this offense settle into a balanced rhythm and put Carolina on their heels in the second half.
The game in the Bayou is really popping off. The Revolution holding on at the moment 38-28 over the Jacksonville Kings. That game is entering its final stages in the third quarter. So head on over there. And if you liked hearing me and John, well, you can hear us later tonight when we call Fort Worth and LA. For Tristan Hatley, Ike McBride, John Warren, and the Commissioner Cameron Irvine, I'm Tyler Falk. We'll catch you later. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.